Good morning, this is Deepak. I'm back in New York and I want to start a discussion board which has been requested by many people on You Are the Universe. And of course, this video and also some comments will be available to you and for your participation at our new website, which is called discoveringyourcosmicself.com. Once again, it's discoveringyourcosmicself.com. And so I have asked Aurora Carlson, who's a meditation and yoga teacher and therapist in Sweden and a good long-term friend of mine, to go through the book, You Are the Universe, and then submit questions. And by the way, you can also submit questions. She has prepared a list of questions from each chapter of You Are the Universe, which is coming out on February 7th. And February 7th is the official pub date, but if you get the book right now, pre-sales, you can also participate in an course that I and Menas Kafatos, who co-wrote the book, who's a quantum physicist and cosmologist, we are offering this course online that you can take free of charge if you have the book, because you have to study the book. Otherwise, you can participate in the discussions anyway, and we welcome you to participate. We'll have several moderators. But to start the discussions, we are preparing a list of questions that actually have been prepared by Aurora Carlson from Sweden. And she's read the book already because she had a PDF of the book. And so she's prepared questions, and I will answer these questions on a daily basis. And also maybe Menas Kafatos, if he has time, will comment on these questions as well. Jessica Nettie, how can we get the book? Any bookstore, online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any other bookstore. Okay, so let me start with the first question, which is coming from the first part of the book, from the preface that was submitted by Aurora Carlson. And the question is, do you agree that we live in a participatory universe? Why? Let us hear what thoughts or experiences led to your conclusion. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to read to you the first few paragraphs from You Are the Universe, from the preface. That will make it clear that without your participation, the universe as we know it would not exist. Okay, so let me read to you and then I'll elaborate on that even more. There's one relationship in your life, in everyone's life, that has been kept a secret. You don't know when it began, and yet you depend upon it for everything. If this relationship ever ended, the world would disappear in a puff of smoke. This is your relationship to reality. A huge number of things must come together perfectly to construct reality, and yet they do so completely out of sight. Think of sunlight. Obviously, the sun can't shine unless stars exist. Since our sun is a medium-sized star floating beyond the center of the Milky Way galaxy, our home galaxy. There are a few secrets left to discover about how stars form, what they're made of, and how light is produced in the incredibly hot cauldron at the core of a star. The secret lies elsewhere. As sunlight travels 91 million miles to Earth, it penetrates the atmosphere and lands somewhere on the planet. In this case, the only somewhere we are interested in is your own eyes. Photons, the packets of energy that carry light, stimulate the retina at the back of your eye, starting a chain of events that leads to your brain and the visual cortex. The miracle of vision lies in the mechanics of how the brain processes light, sunlight. That much is clear. Yet the step that matters the most, converting sunlight into vision, is totally mysterious. No matter what you see in the world, an apple, a cloud, a mountain, or tree, sunlight bouncing off the object makes it visible. But how? No one really knows. But the secret formula contains sight, because seeing is one of the most basic ways of knowing that what we call an object is real. What makes seeing totally mysterious can be summed up in a few undeniable facts. 1. Photons are invisible. They aren't bright, even though you see sunlight as bright. The brain has zero light inside it, being a dark mass of oatmeal textured cells enveloped in a fluid not terribly different from seawater. Because there is no light in the brain, there are no pictures or images either. When you imagine the face of a loved one, nowhere in the brain does that face exist like a photograph. At present, no one can explain how invisible photons being converted to chemical reactions and faint electrical impulses in the brain creates the three-dimensional reality we all take for granted. Brain scans pick up the electrical activity, which is why a functional MRI contains patches of brightness and color. Something is going on in the brain, but the actual nature of light is mysterious. One thing is known, however: the creation of sight is done by you. By you. Without you, the entire world and the vast universe extending in all directions cannot exist. Sir John Eccles, a neurologist and Nobel laureate, declared, "I want you to know that there exists no color in the natural world and no sound. Nothing of this kind, no textures, no patterns, no beauty, no scent." Okay, so if no one existed to experience heat, light, mass, and so on, nothing could be real as we know it. Okay, so that's a little bit from the book. It's from the preface of the book. But I think the case is clear, right from what I've said, that everyday reality is an experience in our consciousness. How that happens, by way of photons coming to the brain or action potentials coming to the brain from other sensory apparatus such as hearing or taste or smell or texture or touch or sound, is unknown at the moment. Okay, this is called the hard problem of consciousness. So from once we establish the fact that reality is conceived, constructed, governed, and comes into existence in our own consciousness, then we are beginning to understand that the universe exists in us. That's why the title of the book is You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters. So the question was asked, do we live in a participatory universe? Yes, the universe that we experience is not possible without our participation. But what do we mean by our participation? What do we mean by us? What do we mean by you are the universe? So we must realize by you is not the body, because the body is also an experience in you. The you is not your mind, because the mind is also an experience in you. The you is not the universe, ultimately, because the universe exists in you. So you are the universe is a way of saying you become the universe. That what we call the universe is conceived, constructed, governed, and comes into existence in you, and you are a formless, borderless, inconceivable, unimaginable being that experiences itself as mind, body, universe. So now Aurora also asked what are the thoughts and experience you've had in coming to this conclusion. First of all, I made the argument, scientific argument, along with Menas Kafatos, that without your participation, there would be no experience of the universe as we know it. Okay? And that's all we can know, our own knowing and our own experience. If there's a universe that exists outside our experience and knowing of it, then we will never know it. Okay? But to other insights, coming from great people, of course, if you look at the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, according to that, one needs a conscious observer to collapse the wave function. So before the wave function collapses, it exists as a field of possibilities in an unimaginable space, mathematical space called Hilbert space. But as soon as a conscious observer decides to measure a particle, then that wave function collapses. Not many people agree with this interpretation, which is called the Copenhagen interpretation, and they have other theories called decoherence, multiple universes, which say that wave functions collapse spontaneously, and there are an infinite number of universes as a result of that. So that's also fine, because all these theories are conceived in consciousness anyway. Quantum mechanics is a mathematical idea, mathematical formulation in consciousness, so we can't get behind consciousness no matter which of the 20 theories of quantum mechanics we are biased towards. As Max Planck said, you cannot get behind consciousness. He also said one thing which is very interesting, and I'm probably not quoting him word to word, but I'm paraphrasing him. He said, when you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. Once again, when you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. Now, he was probably referring to the measurement problem again. Is it a wave? Is it a particle? Depends on the experiment you do based on the question you ask. Freeman Dyson, another great thinker, said, every quantum experiment forces the atom to make a choice. So this is another theory that is now becoming very popular. It's called panpsychism. But I'm not referring to that. I'm just referring to the fact, even in a simple way, that when you change the way you interpret what is happening, then what you experience changes. Okay, so if you are in a good mood, then everything reflects that good mood. Even if the weather is cloudy, you feel romantic, you maybe even fall in love. When you're feeling kind, compassionate, loving, joyous, the world responds in the same way, people respond in the same way. So, not Marlene Garza, man-psychism, no, pan-psychism, sorry, pan, P-A-N, pan-psychism. Okay, so what I'm saying is when the environment is constantly reflecting your moods, right? Your emotions, your personal relationships, your social interactions, your environment, and even the weather, in a way, reflects how you feel. So when you feel joyous, everything that we call the environment reflects that joy. When you feel energetic, everything in the environment reflects that energy. So your intentions and your interpretations of everyday experiences change the experiences you have. On a practical level, this means you must question every interpretation that you have, especially your belief systems. If we got rid of every belief system, what would reality be? And if you got of every Shelley Sweeney, have a wonderful time in Tokyo. So if you got rid of every belief system, what would be left is the real reality. Okay, because otherwise, belief systems, interpretations, they all color our experience of reality. But if you got rid of all of them, all interpretations, then that would be ultimate reality. So what is that ultimate reality? Well, ultimate reality is infinite possibilities, infinite correlation, infinite creativity, infinite emergence, evolution, non-local, the source of intention, the source of cognition, of perception, of everything that we call everyday reality. So on a practical level, get to the source of thought through meditation. Understand that your true nature is formless, infinite being. And that as we reflect, engage in self-reflection, who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? Then automatically living those questions moves us into the answers. Learn also to be a non-judgmental observer of your thoughts, of your perceptions, of your emotions, of your behavior. As the great Indian philosopher said, the highest intelligence is to be able to observe yourself without judging yourself. So in the simplicity and clarity of just being, reality unfolds for you in an evolutionary direction, in the direction of truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, love, compassion, joy, equanimity, and all the things that we want. So self-reflection is important, but simple, non-judgmental awareness without labels, without judgments, without evaluation, without labels, definitions, evaluations, judgments, allows you to experience reality. This is called silent witnessing awareness. And finally, just the simplicity and clarity of being. There is nothing we need do to just be. In being, the formless unfolds as forms and phenomena. And then we can experience reality and shape it, actually, knowing that this is our everyday reality, but not fundamental reality, which is the field of all possibilities. Okay, so tomorrow I will answer the second question. Meanwhile, log on to discoveringyourcosmicself.com. If possible, get the book. You are the universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters with me and Menas Kafatos, who's a cosmologist and physicist. In any case, join our discussion boards and we will continue the conversation. Be happy. Reach for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground. Love you.